Program initiated. Enter when ready.
So it is 1 o'clock EST. Here we are, Holodeck 5. So I talked about on my channel about redoing my streaming setup, and I think I've hit a sweet spot here. I've got things set up now. I've got a better set of lights. I've got some key light arrays. I've got them on some multi-mounts, and I think things are looking pretty good here in regards to lighting. And so I've still got my main fill light, and I got my lights coming from the side. I've got some Govee lights behind me, nice little green, nice little, I just realized now they're She-Hulk colors. Need to maybe change that, maybe some blues. And then I've got my iPad Pro right in front of me underneath the camera so I can see what's going on. Before I had it over on my computer, I was looking at it. I was like, okay, is that good? And now I just have it right here in front of me, right underneath. This, I think I've hit my sweet spot. Anyway, let's get started. If you are new here and, you just have found this because someone just popped up saying, hey, this is, DCP Effects is going live and you are liking what you see. Hey, I'd love to give me a sub. That'd be awesome. Anyway, let's get down to the nitty gritty. So I have a little title that I play. Just something I came up with in Final Cut. It's just something just to show off here. Hey, it's me. So I want to talk about a bit about Marvel Phase 4. This is the original Phase 4 lineup that they sent out with us. And, they've hit most of these, but, we still have, they said that Blade and Quantumania and what else we got, Fantastic Four, they're all going to be part of it. Yeah, no. What happened is they revamped Phase 4. So this is the new Phase 4. And, well, the title of this is, Marvel Phase 4. If Marvel Entertainment did something strange, they entertained me. Let me just pull back a bit, and I'll tell you what I mean about that in a minute. So we're looking at the beginning here, and, Black Widow. Yeah. Okay, yeah, it was all right. It was all right. It was fine. I don't know why they had to go with prequel. Why couldn't they give her a movie while she was still, a good character and alive and everything else? Now, let me preface this before we go too far into this. I'm a huge MCU fan. I couldn't tell you the number of times I have seen Iron Man. Like, I really can't. 30, 40, 50 times. I love that movie. It just was so good for the time. And then when you read back about what's going on, most of it was improvised. A lot of stuff they were doing was just sort of written on the cuff. That little bit about Tony Stark made this in a cave with a box of scraps was just like improvised. And also, too, if you didn't know, the scientist he's talking to with the bad fringe, that's Peter Billingsley, Ralphie from Christmas Story. And the director said, Favreau said, oh, I want you to have this. Or maybe it was the producer, or maybe somebody else, because he wasn't one of the producers. I want you to have this just because it'd be funny. So he's got a full head of hair, just like shaved that in. And Jeff Bridges said, I want to go bald for this. Okay. Anyway, I love the MCU. They really didn't have a lot of stumbles. Well, Incredible Hulk. Any of the Hulks. Not a character I like anyway. But they were all really good movies. Now, you get through all these phases. To me, what really happened, I think the MCU really ended at Endgame. Now, follow me in this. It was a great story. It goes all the way, and then it's sort of the big arc. We've got Thanos being introduced. We've got all these things coming by, and then we get to the end, the final big bad. We stop Thanos, and everything's good, and everyone moves on, and Cap retires. And this is not spoilers because it's been out for a couple of years. And we have all these things going on. Great way to end it, the death of Iron Man or the death of Tony Stark and all these things. Fantastic. And then they said, you know what, let's do this. So anyway, Black Widow was a great character introduced in Iron Man 2 and, could have really done a lot with her, and she was good in Avengers and everything else. And also, too, I love the Avengers movies. I've watched them time and time again. Even the Thors. I've even seen Dark World a couple times. Take that, grain of salt. But then we get into other movies. So Black Widow. Okay, good scenes. ScarJo again last time. Eternals. Yeah, can I get those 2 hours back? I know the history of the Eternals. Like, the thing is, I'm a huge comic fan. I've said that before in some of my other streams, my other videos as well. I'm a huge comic fan. And I just don't, it just didn't do anything for me. Hang on, I don't have my chat up here. I don't see it. So let's bring it up here so I can see it in case anyone's here and want to chat with me. Okay, that's better. So huge Marvel fan. So I know who the Eternals are. I know all these things. I know what they're supposed to be. And yeah, they gender bend a couple characters. That's fine. But there wasn't a lot of thought into this movie. They take Makari, the speedster, and they make him her, make her Latino or black, and make her deaf. Now, I don't have any problems with any of that. Here's the problem I have with lazy writing. In the Phoenician times, like, minus 2,000, 4,000 BC, she's signing, and she says, time. There were no wristwatches. How is that a symbol for time? Also, why would they be using current ASL? Anyway, it wasn't a very good movie, and there's a lot of parts of it that weren't very good. And I watched it fine. I did it okay. Then we got into some of the other things. Shang-Chi, it was all right. Now, a lot of the characters in Shang-Chi, like Simu Liu, I believe is a Canadian, so, you know, Canadian pride here. He was in Kim's Convenience, and I know that the dad is Canadian. I think Simu is Canadian, but okay movie. Seen it once. Probably won't see it again. It was an alright story. It was fine. But there's certain things that just take you out of a movie. I cannot stand Awkwafina. Every time she was on screen, the whole thing just ground to a halt. Now, there's other people I can't stand either. And I don't like Jamie Foxx. And before you get going, it's racist. I cannot stand Nicole Kidman. Here's the worst part about me not liking Nicole Kidman. Like, I watch Batman Forever in spite of her, because she's not on that often. I dislike her so much, and the part that really grinds my gears is I share a birthday with her. I don't share a birthday with her. I share a birthday with her. We're the exact same age. I can't stand her. Everything she's in, and next. It's much like, I said this before in my V video, actors from that, I can't stand. They're on screen and gone. David Packer, who played Daniel. I don't watch anything with him. Neva Patterson, I don't watch anything with her. So anyway, when Awkwafina comes on the screen, I can't stand her. I don't like it. I just move on. So I haven't seen Crazy Rich Asians, so I'm not about to. That's not a movie for me. But I didn't like Shang-Chi because of that. The movie was okay. The fighting was amazing. I like the fighting. That was a really well choreographed and well done. So, good on Simu to get through that. What else is there? I'm trying to go timeline-wise. We'll go through what's on the picture. So, WandaVision. For the first of the, hey, let's do some TV, it was okay. It was okay. It wasn't for me, and granted, this is just my take on things. It wasn't for me great. It was all right. I like the fact we got the Vision back. Now, they did a little bit of jiggery-pokery in order to do that. Basically, we have Wanda's version of the Vision that exists, and then they put the Vision back together again. She animates it, and he puts the make-believe Vision, puts his memories into the actual Vision, and he flies off, and we never see him again. So far. He could have showed up later. I'll get to that. So WandaVision was okay. Not my cup of tea, but okay. Loki. Loki was interesting. For a character that has been, kind of the big bad for so long. Well, not even the big bad, the little bad. It was an okay series, and I liked Owen Wilson. I don't like Owen Wilson in a lot, but he was good in this as Mobius. He was a cute character, and it was good, and apparently we're doing season 2, and he'll be in it as well. It was all right. It was all right. I'll give that a passing grade. I'll give it like a B minus. The WandaVision I give maybe a C. Hawkeye was fun just for the fact that Hawkeye really, deserved it. Hawkeye, has always been that bit character. And if you're ever on in the internet, there's a video out there. What if Hawkeye missed every shot? It shows the Battle of New York, and every shot he takes, he misses. He hits someone in the shoulder, someone in the eye. It's funny. It's funny. But, he was a good character, and I liked it. I didn't like the huge setup of, him sort of retiring and Kate Bishop taking over, even though I know that, happens in the comics, but Jeremy Renner, deserved his due to go a little bit further with the character. Anyway. Other ones. What If? What If was cool. It was cool it was animated. I'm a huge fan of the What If series. I have a lot of them, and I have all of them, in a format I can read on my iPad, and they were okay. B. They were good. They were good. I didn't like one of them. What if T'Challa was a Star-Lord? Star-Lord was the name his mom gave Peter. They don't refer to him as Star-Lord unless Peter's saying, hey man, it's me, Star-Lord. T'Challa would never be a Star-Lord because T'Challa was not brought up by Peter's mom. Enough said. The zombie one I didn't like. Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness should have been called either Scarlet Witch and the Multiverse of Madness featuring Doctor Strange, or America Chavez and the Multiverse of Madness featuring Doctor Strange. He was very ancillary to his own movie. I didn't see the point, and this is when the Vision should have come in and should have done. Hey, Wanda, stop this. This is not right. And that's what should have happened. The fact that he's disappeared, we haven't seen him since, is kind of weird. I don't know what Kevin Feige has got planned, or Kevin the robot from She-Hulk. Less said about that, the better. So I don't know. I love Doctor Strange. I thought the first movie was great. I always call him Bandicoot Cumberbatch. Benedict Cumberbatch did a great job. And also, it's a one Marvel movie with two Benedicts in it. Benedict Wong. It was good. It was good. Thor Love and Thunder. Yeah. There's not much to say about it. They hyped this thing, Thor's with the Guardians. It was a 5-minute scene. And some of it was just so dumb. He stopped two ships doing the splits. And it's endemic of, let's take all of our characters, male characters, and replace them with women. So, we have Hawkeye is being replaced by Kate Bishop, and then Thor has been replaced by Jane Foster. And, Doctor Strange, and we have Clea. All these things are going on, and it's just kind of like, it's just going all over the place. Anyway, so I mentioned... so here's a better look at the movies of, here's the things that sort of have happened. Also do Spider-Man. It was okay. I wasn't a fan. It was all right. It was fine. But I think the whole thing about the redemption arc of the guys was just, it went too long. They could have done a whole lot more without having to do that. And I just found it. And at the very end, he's made his own costume and he's been, okay, fine, whatever. But everyone forgets about him. It was just too much One More Day-ish to me. And I didn't like that in the comics. I didn't read that at the time, but yeah. The other one on this list here, which I haven't seen yet, Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. From what I've read, I don't want to see it. I saw Black Panther and it was okay. I didn't mind it. It was fine. It's just not something I'm going to run out and buy. Like, I have all of the movies on Blu-ray. I don't have Black Panther. I don't have Captain Marvel. I don't have the Hulk. It was all right. I didn't like Killmonger. I didn't like all that. And Michael B. Jordan was cool. I loved him in Chronicle. If you haven't seen that movie, check that out. It's a found footage movie with kids with superpowers. It's really cool. So I didn't like that so much. And then the rest of these here, so Captain Marvel's been pushed off. Obviously, we're past November 11th, and Captain Marvel 2 or The Marvels hasn't shown. Guardians 3 is coming soon. The trailer hit yesterday. and it looks pretty cool, you know. And all of us cosplayers were like, "What? Oh, another costume? Are you kidding me?" Blade's been pushed back. Quantumania's been pushed back. We don't even know what's going on with Fantastic Four. And also, too, in Scarlet Witch, the way that, you know, we had Reed Richards, everyone cried for John Krasinski, and he was as good as Reed Richards, and we just got rid of him. It's like, oh, okay. So we look now at the TV, and I've gone through some of this. So, WandaVision. The Falcon and Winter Soldier. Again, I'll give it a pass. I'll give it like a B-. It was okay, but the whole Sam giving up the shield and then am I worthy and all that stuff. And then John Walker was just a tool. I understand that's, you know, I have the West Coast Avengers. I understand that he's supposed to be a tool, but just Wyatt, it just rubbed me the wrong way. And it just, no, I'm sorry. What else we got here? Miss Marvel, I haven't seen. I don't care about the character, because I just don't care about the character. You know, she came out after I sort of got out of collecting because I did my 48 years, and I was done. I don't care about Kamala Khan. I don't care about any of that. So why would I watch the show on it? Moon Knight was interesting. Not really my cup of tea, but it was interesting. I found it good to an extent. They went way deep into the mythology when Moon Knight came out, he was a Batman in white with a little bit of Egyptology in there. And then as the comic went on, you know, he became Fist of Khonshu, and Khonshu, you know, took over more, and he had more, like he had gauntlets that had, you know, onks and stuff on it. So that went a little bit different. Yeah. But the thing was, it ruined me for a lot of it because I knew who Stephen Grant was, I knew who Mark Spector was, and I knew that there was a Jake Lockley coming. So at the reveal at the end, didn't really faze me at all. I just turned to the wife and go, "See, told you." And yeah. Now the green elephant in the room, She-Hulk. I love the character of She-Hulk when she was on the Fantastic Four. After Secret Wars in the 80s, and the Secret Wars was Marvel's sort of answer to Crisis. They said, they're having a big event, let's have a big event. And a great big long thing. So it's funny, the way they did it is there's this big structure in Central Park. All the heroes and villains disappear. Well, not all, but most of them disappear, and they come back a couple minutes later. And then we spend a year in the Secret Wars 1 through 12. Here's what happened. So they come back, the Thing has stayed behind, and She-Hulk is with Fantastic Four. And it was a great run. John Byrne knew how to write her, and it was really good. But I never really got into his series with her because I don't, you know, the character on her own, it doesn't do anything for me. I just didn't like her. So then I approached She-Hulk, the TV show, with some trepidation. I just didn't like it. It was and again and again and again. And other of my friends love it. And great. I had a video, you know, a while ago on my channel that said, you know what, people are out their own opinions. Here I am voicing my own opinion. I didn't like it, which is fine. The rest of the stuff hasn't happened. Other than one thing that I thought was amazing. This is the whole reason I'm coming to this now. The whole reason I'm coming here is that there was one thing in this entire slot, in this entire thing of Phase 4 that entertained me, and it was the Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday Special. My wife and I watched this when it came out, like the day it came out, and it was perfect. It was just fun. It was just good. And then we're watching it, and she's like, "Who's this band doing the Santa Claus song?" And it just was a hoot from beginning to end. Now, I want to give you my bona fides on this. I love the Guardians to the point I am a Star-Lord cosplayer. This picture here, I won the Elmvale Sci-Fi Festival, which it's a small event, but I won last year. So 2021, they had it all online. We submitted our pictures, and this is something I won with, and I just thought I was getting the title. And then the next day, so where do you want the money sent to? There's money? What? So I won $500 for doing this. So I love this character. So in this picture here, just for a second here, I made the guns, I made the helmet. Yes, the eyes light up. That's not a Photoshop effect. They actually do light up. The helmet comes apart in 2 pieces. In fact, it's behind me right there. And the guns are behind it too. This is when I first started printing, so obviously my game is a whole lot better now. I can make it so much better, but it's perfect the way it is because it's beat up and it's dirty and it's everything and it's great. Anyway, on track. The Guardian special was great. And at one point brings, you know, little, because you see how things started with Peter. And then this scene here, not to give it away, but at this scene here, they're starting to get everything together so Peter can enjoy Christmas. Now, if you haven't seen it, you've seen the trailers. They kidnapped Kevin Bacon to make Peter happy because Peter is, sad. He's lost everything, and Gamora's gone now, so he hasn't got anything. His dad's dead, because he killed him. All these going on. He's alone in this world. Even the woman he thought he loved, or probably did love, has been erased from existence because Thanos killed her. And now the one that's around doesn't have any of his history with him. So, he's just kind of sad. And it was just great. And he's just so happy at the end. And there's a reveal, which I'm not going to spoil here. If you haven't seen it, you will figure it out at the end. But it's a great, heartwarming special. And some of these things, like with the She-Hulk, I was like, is it over yet? Is it over yet? Whereas with this, like, okay, the end. That's it? Let's watch it again. It was really enjoyable, and what a great way to wrap up Phase 4. I think it's going to be great. And I did say, I'll probably watch Black Panther when it comes out on streaming. So, I'll watch that bit of it too. But, for everything they've done here, other than Miss Marvel, I haven't seen that. And other than that, I've seen everything else. So I will get there. But I'm running out at my age, at 55. It's like, there's only so many hours in the day. And I just would much rather watch something I enjoy. Like, I started watching Next Gen again. I'm just at Encounter Farpoint just because I'm a huge Q fan. So if you've looked at me on Facebook, which you can find under David Porter, because it's December 2 now, December 1, there's a couple things I put up. Make It So, which is a compilation of Patrick Stewart saying Make It So and having fun with that. Another one too is All I Want for Christmas is Q. Oh, good. Someone's climbed in saying private dating chat. Okay, well, thanks very much for coming out. Well, hey, you know what? That is something. Someone's actually coming in and spamming my channel. So, hey, why not? Hey, thank you. Welcome aboard. I'm getting there. Also, too, if you were here last week and you said, hey, what's going on with this video? Why is this odd? I got a strike. I didn't get a strike. I got a content warning. When I showed the opening to Power Rangers, when I was talking about Jason David Frank and all that stuff, Toei, like immediately went, hey, you're using our stuff. So whether someone is watching everything and going and looking at the stuff, or someone just set up a keyword and they said, well, may the power protect you. That's a Power Ranger thing. Oh, they're using our footage. So I blurted out, and the content warning is gone, and so the video is monetized again. So it is what it is. But back on track here. For this phase, it would have been interesting if we got all this. Now, I am approaching some of these with apprehension. Guardians 3 looks good, but James Gunn is running it, and I know James Gunn he's doing a good job. His is his swan song before he heads off to DC. Blade, don't care. Don't care about the character, don't care about any of that. Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania. I like Ant-Man. I've been a fan of Ant-Man, Scott Lang Ant-Man, like forever, since he came out in the 70s. I've always liked Hank Pym as Ant-Man in Yellow Jacket. I still am angry over what they did to him in the 80s to make him into a wife beater, and they've just sort of followed along, and now he's missing with Ultron. I don't like the way they did that with the character, because he's one of the OGs. Like, he's an OG Avenger. And yeah. And Fantastic Four, I love Fantastic Four, to the point I even love the movies. The ones that we got, I liked them. I would still love to see it where we would bring it all together. So you have Johnny Storm, Chris Evans talking to Captain America, Chris Evans, and that would be funny to see. The rest of them, we never got Invasion or Ironheart, which Ironheart I don't care about. Armor Wars would have been interesting, but it's hard to do Armor Wars when you don't have Tony Stark. You only have Rhodey doing it. I Am Groot, I never saw. Did it even come out? I think it did. Anyway. In the end, for this MCU fan, I am sort of apprehensively looking towards Phase 5. I don't know if it's going to be any good. I really don't know what's going to happen. We shall see what happens. I'm just getting worn out. Maybe it's the fact there's so many of them. And it's just, but for me, and I'm doing this again. I had a student last year from Germany, and I've said this in other videos. We did the entire Marvel universe. We did Harry Potter as well and Lord of the Rings because they haven't seen them. And also it's good to teach them English because they're watching the movies they've seen, but we're watching them in English, so that's good. So we have started with my current student from Spain. We have watched the captains, so Captain America and then Captain Marvel. We're watching it in timeline order rather than release order. So we're going to go Captain America, Captain Marvel, Iron Man 2. Let me see what else we got here. Thor, skipping the Hulk, Avengers, Iron Man 3, Thor, Captain America, Guardians. So we're going to do that. We've just been slow in doing that. We started that in September, and here we are in December. And just we've been doing other things. So I will watch these again and again and again. And really, to me, I guess in the end, it ends at Endgame. I want a perfect place for it to end. And we'll see where the next phases go. Maybe it'll be enjoyable. Maybe it won't. I don't know. It's just, they're going to do what they're going to do, and it's going to come out. And since there's Disney Plus, if I don't go to theaters, it's going to be a couple months. It'll be on Disney Plus. And plus, there are other ways to acquire media. In the end, I think about what I would have done. And now this is something I've talked about before too, and I've talked about with my kids too, what they should have done. Now, I granted Kevin Feige probably has this great big long plan and how he's going to do things, how it's all going to come together. But I think what would have made the most sense is if at the very end they stop Thanos and something goes wrong with the gauntlet. They're using the gauntlet in the fight. Now, this is just my thoughts on how it would have been cool to do. They have the reality gem. So I know that RDJ was kind of tired of doing it. And, you know, and now that Hemsworth has got a potential for Alzheimer's in his genetics, he's sort of thinking about pulling back a little bit. Also, he hasn't really enjoyed them so much from what I've heard. And Evans is out, and it wouldn't be so easy at the end of it. They have this big fight and this big explosion. Everything goes the way it goes. And then as the smoke clears, Thanos is gone. And the reality gem has changed all the characters. So Robert Downey Jr. is out, and instead we have Joseph Gordon-Levitt as Tony Stark. And we have all these other characters. Say we've, de-aged them or made them younger so that okay, now we pick up and now we move forward with these new characters because the reality stone has changed everything. But I'm not writing these movies, so hey, that's not what happened. It would have been cool if it did, so we could keep going on and on and on, because there is that suspension. Like, we do have Bruce Wayne is 33 years old still, or 34, I guess. He's 34 and Superman's 33 forever. Superman came out in 1938, and he's 33 years old still. And they just constantly do that. Just it's next generation, next generation, next generation, next generation. And that would have been a very cool way to do it. But like I say, I'm not writing it, so there's nothing one we can do about it. So I guess when we get right down to it, in the end, I would give Phase 4 a solid B-, C+. It was okay. But Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday Special definitely brings them up quite a bit. Like, if you're going to do that, what a way to round it out. What a way to, it's a home run in the ninth. It was just so well done. And I think I'm probably going to watch it again, probably this weekend. It's really enjoyable. It's just, let's giggle some more. Let's do this. So that is my take on things for this week. I must say, this streaming stuff is really interesting because the first couple was like, the first one was at 3 o'clock, my time. So I get home from work at around 1, and I'm just sitting around twiddling my thumbs. Okay, let's do this. And 3 o'clock comes, and I do it. And I did like 20 minutes. And then I get a little more comfortable doing it. Today, I had to go get water. And then I dropped a few things off at FedEx, and then got home, and okay, what is it? 1:45? All right, so I'll make some lunch, and I come down here, and it's like 3 minutes to, okay, and start OBS. I'll turn on the camera, turn on the lights, do this, okay, I got a minute to go, and go live, and let's do this. And yeah, I get a lot more comfortable doing it. So I guess there is that to it as well. I'm liking doing it. And it's just a matter of now, I also noticed too, my first was a scatter shot. Let's talk about this, and this. And then now it's like, have a theme. So, Crisis was a theme. May the Power Protect You was a theme. Phase 4 is a theme. So that's what I'm doing moving forward. I'm hoping to get some traction on this. So we will see what comes up. So at this point, I think I'm going to wrap everything up. What are we at? 1:30. So a half an hour talk about things. My wife always says, I knew you can talk about yourself for quite a long time. And I'm not talking about myself, but just sort of my thoughts on things. And yeah. So I'm going to wrap it up here. I want to thank any of you who chimed in other than xxx69.biz. Is anyone else in the chat? I don't think anyone else was. Nope, just them. I don't know if anyone else is here. Well, doesn't look like it. So for those of you who are watching this after the fact, thanks for coming by and looking at my stuff. We really appreciate it. So I'm going to call it a day. Everyone have a great weekend, and we'll see you all next week. Now, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I have regular videos on YouTube, and then Fridays at 1 p.m. EST, I'm going to stream. I will come up with what I'm going to do for next week, probably on Monday, and I'll give you enough time to sort of catch into it and know what's going on. So everyone, hey, have a great day. Talk to you all.